companies, and we want to understand what a company really is. And I think in 2025, that's one of the things that you need to do. A company is a legal entity formed by individuals or shareholders to conduct business activities. It can be a small company, it can be a multinational corporation. And the reason why you should form a company is because you get access to capital through investors or loans, and you can mitigate risks, and also it's easier to attract customers and partners. In your experience, Joseph, how do you start a company?
Thank you for the question, Dr. Lisa. Hello, guys. I'm Seruyange Joseph, a software engineer at Zaantu Technologies, and I'm here to discuss points on how to start a company. Now, as Dr. Lisa has put it forward, there is a legal part of registration of a company. In our case of Uganda, registration with the URSB, the body in charge of registering companies. That is there. But what I'm going to look at is the practical, real world, behind the scenes infrastructure, human capital setup that makes the company the company. It's the skeleton and the meat that gives it a body. So, number one, as you're starting a company, clarify the problem you're trying to solve. I would say, in simple terms, have a clear pain point that you're solving for the customer, so that you can align it with your vision, because your vision does not matter as much as the pain point for the customer, because the customer will only give out money when you solve his pain point. So you really care, you should start with the customer needs, and you should value them over more than you do value your vision, because it's in fact it should be the guiding light for your vision. Number two, build something called a minimum viable company in addition to the minimum viable product. What do we mean by this? In most cases, organizations tend to build their minimum viable product and they put it onto market, and it's really great. But how do you handle all the traffic that comes with running a real world business? You must build a system around, in addition to the MVP. So that is the minimum viable company. What do I mean by this? Think about your sales, think about your marketing, think about your workflows, systemize all these things. That is the minimum viable company, so that you can automate off some of these features and you focus on your core goal, which is solving the pain point you identified earlier in number one. Step three, always test the market. In most cases, we as technology people or visionaries, I would say, we tend to get caught up in our minds and build something really great, genius in our minds, but it has no real world impact. Nobody is going to pay for it. So always go in for market testing always before you fully finish the product. Number four, now here we talk about the funding. You should really focus on building something that is worth funding, rather than focusing on seeding grounds, funding grounds, capital acquisition. So, what do I mean by this? Could ask yourself the simple question: Would would I invest in this idea if if I was the investor on the other end of the table? So, really focus on being able to attract customers before you really think about funding a lot, because we've seen this on a number of occasions. Very many companies, usually the international markets, they get billions of dollars in venture capital funding, but go nowhere because there is no customer value being provided. There are no sales. So that is very important. Uh, uh, Something that that I'm trying to make here is there are no silver bullets, there are only lead bullets. What do we mean by this? There is no magic. If you're building a business, at the end, you have to get customers. More than funding, more than everything, customers are the most important. Step number five, iterate quickly. So What do I mean by this? Run a lean and agile setup. Be able to get feedback from the market, act on that feedback, make changes, and loop the process over and over again so that you react to the market changes, so that you stay in business. Number six, build in public. What does building in public afford you? It humanizes your organization. Remember, when you're starting a company, you're usually a small organization. So you do not have a lot of money and funds to invest in getting big names, influencers to market for you. So what do you do instead? You build in public. A very famous example I can give is some guy called Mr. Tony. He's a Chinese guy on TikTok for LC signs. He does he markets their signs. They do neon signs, these
Yeah, yeah, I
billboard,
know him.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok. It really gives it a human face. So I think very many people would really buy from LC signs over any other Chinese company, even though that Chinese company would be better, but we have a human attachment to LC signs. It's not just another business taking your money. And number seven, the golden point, set up systems. So with everything that you're doing, document the processes you take, because usually you start as a one man or two people team, usually a very small team. You're making all the decisions inside and you do not need a lot of meetings. But as you grow and as you scale, you will need to have systems in place to ensure that sustainability of the company is assured. So I'll just give a brief summary of everything, clarify the pain point, build a minimum viable company on top of a minimum viable product, test the market or raise, build something worth funding, i.e., get customers over funds acquisition, iterate or raise from the feedback you've gotten from the market, build in public to humanize your organization, and set up systems. Thank you so much, Dr. Lisa. That's my
Wow,
presentation.
that's really amazing points, and especially the one about having customers is very important because, like you said, would you fund that business if you are on the other side? That's a very important thing to consider. And getting customers is not as easy as people think it is, and that's why most companies fail. So, Louise, maybe you could give us a brief about how the process of getting customers looks like, what it is that you must consider if you are to pull customers.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope you can all hear me. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm going to present how to get clients for a company, and this could be any company whatsoever. So I've broken down my points to into sections, and each section I'll give you the points that relate to it. So the first we would have the online strategies. We need to have online strategies that we have to use to pull customers or to pull clients for a company. And the first point is website optimization. Basically, every company or notable companies or big companies or starting companies would need to have a website, and you need to optimize it using the search engines like the Google Analytics and create a very professional website that's going to be the number one client, should I say client absorber. Then point number two, we have content marketing. You have to market your content and produce valuable products, such as using blog posts, using videos that are going to pull customers, more clients to your company. Then we also have social media marketing. That's also kind of like content marketing, social media marketing using the the famous platforms LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, such that you can reach a variety of clients from every corner of the world. Then also you can also use paid advertising. I see this mostly used on Facebook ads. Then you can also use Google Ads. You can also use LinkedIn ads, and this enables you to get more reach, and you probably reach more people. So that was the online strategies. Then we are going to have the next offline. Offline strategies. Now these are strategies that you're going to use without having to connect on the internet. And we have our number one through referrals. This can be through having having employees of the company or friends having to refer your company and speak good about it and tell them what good it does. This can help to pull in people since, or it can be through using clients who have used your product before. You could get them to help you give a referral. And then we also have networking events like conferences, trade shows. Yeah, that would get a lot of people. Then we have, sorry, we have partnerships, partnering with other companies related to yours and building a bigger audience and getting to reach other people. You could partner just like the way Zaantu partners with Dara Japan and partners with Tycoon Systems of Canada. Yes, I think that's a very good move. Then number three, we'd have building relationships. We need to build good relationships with our customers and with just anyone in general, such that the company can have a good image outside. You wouldn't want your company having a bad image and people talking bad about it. So you're going to have to build a good relationship, provide exceptional services, give customer care, and probably in some companies I see after a customer purchasing their product, they do follow-ups where they ask the customer, how is it doing? How is the product treating you? Are you satisfied with it? Things like that. And also some companies give warranties and things like that. Then you can also use email newsletters. This is where you send emails to your customers or to clients or potential clients so that you can keep in touch with them and be able to share future prospects. Yes, then for my next point, these are other points. We're going to have the first point is giving free trials or demos. This is where you give your product probably free of charge or at a very reduced price such that you can attract more customers to come and test your product. It could be a software product or a physical product, whatever it is. You give them to try out so that they can get feedback, and if they're satisfied, they will obviously spread the good news and probably bring more customers or maybe come back to your company. Then you can also have a case studies where you're going to share your success stories from past clients or you yourselves, the employees of the company, share your views such that people can read and know that your company is actually real. It's not just playing around. Yes. Then other points to note, I think in all you should, this does not directly pull clients, but I think it's something to note on this topic. You should always analyze your data, analyze your statistics, and maybe probably at the end of the week or at the end of the month, see what works, see what doesn't, see what's the best so that you can improve day by day and get to have a very good relationship with your clients and get to reach a wider client base. Yes.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, so that last point about analyzing your data, I feel like it's something that many companies ignore, and that's one of the things that makes a company great. Valentino is going to tell us more about what makes a company great, but I think all of these, if someone is out there watching and they can implement these strategies, then they'll be able to take their company to greater heights and be able to get the customers that they need. But then again, it's about consistently showing up and also being patient as you wait it out. So, Valentino, what else do you think could make a company great? What makes a company great?
Yes. So my name is Valentino, an intern at Zaantu, and what makes a company great? That's a very great question that Dr. Lisa gave to me, and these are the points that I thought out. The first one is competitive compensation and benefits. So fair pay and thoughtful benefits help motivate employees. So this in turn helps to enhance customer services as the staff is satisfied with their pay. If the staff is not satisfied with their pay, most cases they don't get motivated to to produce the work to produce quality work because you know they are having issues with their pay and they have to support their family and things like that. If you have competitive compensation, it helps to enhance customer service as the staff are satisfied, and also it helps a company to attract and retain top talent. I mean, if a company is paying uh, their employees very well, of course they're not going to get anyone out there in the market because they are going to have to get you know uh, top talents on that could help match the fair pay that they are doing. That is point one: competitive compensation and benefits. Then my second point was positive and inclusive work culture. So a respective inclusive environment helps increase employee morale. So when I talk about a respectful one, the leaders and the employees themselves, your fellow employees, are respectful and inclusive. For example, when I was applying to get into Zaantu, it was Joseph who helped me throughout everything. And then when I tried to get to talk to Mr. Martin, he was readily available and he helped me throughout the process of trying to get into Zaantu. And then after that, he connected me to Dr. Lisa, who also was very respectful, very calm, very so something like that helps to make the company greater, as it helps make the environment very inclusive. Because I'm a new person into this. I don't have even any experience in some of these things, but you know, I was welcomed as a person who is ready to learn from the company. So it helped make me get inclusive into the company. I already feel at home in the company. So that helps make the company greater, as it helps build employee morale, because I was morale boosted when Mr. Martin and Dr. Lisa uh, gave me their time. They came out and spoke to me. Mr. Martin interviewed me, and then Dr. Lisa, was it on Tuesday? She we scheduled a meeting with her, and she didn't even take a lot of time. Like when she said it was the meeting was at 10, she came at 10 itself. So that helps make a positive and inclusive work culture. Then my third point is clear opportunities for growth. So here, offering professional development for your employees. For example, when we have different workshops, or uh, I, Joseph told me that we usually meet after some time. We get together, and in this get together, sometimes they help teach us teach us skills that maybe we didn't know before. Uh, for example,
We seem to have lost you, Valentino. So, well, maybe his network is having some trouble, but we can keep going on. In your experience, Mr. Martin, how has it been to raise Zantu into a great company? What challenges have you faced? What have you had to do in order to get it to that place?
Right. Hi everyone. Hope you're getting much and great value from this video that we're recording. So your question again, please.
What has been your experience really as you build Zantu into a great company, and what challenges have you faced along the way?
Experience. It's a roller coaster ride. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. There are going to be times when you doubt yourself. There's also going to be times when you are probably sure of yourself, right? But not everybody is going to believe in your vision. I see that as part of my experience getting into this and trying to grow a company. And it's not until that you actually settle down and stop doing so many other things and actually start building systems around your organization that you'll actually now begin seeing progress in your company. So I remember that in the very beginning in 2018, I didn't really have a good focus on organization or on systems. So we ended up wasting a lot of time trying to do this, trying to do that. Also, we were young. We didn't have so much experience, especially with understanding how to respond to the market or talk to people, you know. So those are all skills that you're definitely going to learn, right? If you are a first-time entrepreneur, you have to meet at least 100 people to see if a specific product, they would even love a specific product. And before you even begin even building out something, um, talk to people and just get their point of view. Hey, what if you had this sort of thing around? So how would you use it? It's very good to always just test the market. Start with something really simple, really small, see if it's usable, or probably you can even just present it to them, maybe in a PowerPoint presentation or something, and just get people's feedback. Collect as much information as possible, as I always recommend. Talk to as many people as possible about what you're talking about, the service you're offering or the product that you're actually offering to the public. And also another thing, solve a challenge that's also big enough as well. I remember in the very beginning, we struggled a bit to create this software in the very beginning, and also at the same time, we also didn't know how we're also going to scale it because we had a small sort of like market in a sense in terms of the hospitals that we're actually trying to target. And we really wasted a lot of time. But I would just say that it's just an experience. It's definitely something that's going to help you grow as an individual. And if you actually sit down and get serious about it, you're probably going to have sleepless nights sometimes. Sometimes it's really going to be hard, especially finding the right talent that you're going to be able to work with. That's also going to be really hard, you know. So that's just a bit of my experience, right? And the question was about how to build a great company. Sorry.
Yeah, in your opinion, what has helped you to build a great company?
I think number one, it first starts with systems. It first starts with you first. Starts with you. I remember I read John Maxwell's book, one of his books, and he said that for a leader, the only ceiling or limit that they will have is them. What do I mean by this? That sometimes, depending on your vision and your ability to execute, if you have a great vision and poor execution, you won't go as much, right? But if you're willing to learn from other people who are probably going ahead of you, you know, and you're really willing to learn, then your cup sort of increases. Your ability to believe that you can actually grow sort of increases in a sense, right? If you are a person who has poor vision but great execution, it's going to be easy for you to move fast because you know what to do. Probably again, you might need maybe to understand the environment around you, to get like a really great vision in a sense. So at the end of the day, you are your own limit, right? And that's something that I had to painfully accept myself, that I cannot necessarily build these things on my own. And sometimes so ego gets in the way, especially if you're trying to create like a really great company. Ego does get in the way a lot of times, and it's not going to be easy. It's really going to be hard, but you need to set ego aside and focus on the growth of the company and your people that you're leading in that direction. Just because someone has said, hey, you probably recently this week I was just talking to someone that I'm thinking of partnering with, like in the future, and we're just just discussing and all that. And I remember she went ahead and said that, Martin, you're meeting these people, but you didn't ask the right questions, so I feel like you're just wasting your time, like point blank, you know. And it hurt, I would say, but it's good to know that you can take what people say and not retaliate or be like, hey, or defend yourself. Be in a position where you are able to listen to what they're saying and say, okay, maybe I am wasting my time with a few meetings here and there, and maybe I should learn to ask the right questions so that I don't have to waste a lot of time in that regard, right? Because time is a very valuable resource that you can never get back. So that's just one of the examples that you need to be told the truth as a leader so that you can adjust and change. If someone that you're working with comes up and says, I don't like the culture around here, maybe we can do something about it. Probably you should listen to them, listen to what they have to contribute in that regard, and see what they're saying and see if it actually has a point. Because at the end of the day, you need to also accept other people to also I believe that some people that are going to work with you if you're building your own venture have their own visions, right? Probably they have different ideas, and hey, just learn about what they're saying. Listen to them, because that's how people probably stay longer in your organization. I know you might have your own way of doing things, but probably there's probably also another way of doing things. I also met another businessman, and he was telling me where he was working. Uh, the boss uh, has this one strategy where we need to focus on a specific kind of customer. And because of the way technology is moving and AI and digital, what's happening is that we are now moving to push advertising to digital, right? Digital products and devices. And their method is more traditional. It's not digital. So they did a SWOT analysis, and they said, hey, one of our threats is this digital thing. It's really going to affect us. And he goes on to say that if you change our strategy, then our company ceases to exist. And in my mind, I'm like, how small a way of thinking can you have to not ride the wave of new trends that are actually happening right now? And that's how big organizations actually get wiped off. I mean, literally, these are people who are making quite a bit of some money. The problem that they're facing right now is that they are being pushed aside slowly by the new digital trends. Now that internet is penetrating in Uganda and all that, now people are going to moving on to these digital trends, even the local markets. And it's really going to be hard to push ads in a certain direction. So um, being a leader in that sort of way that doesn't listen to the trends, notice what's really going on, and see how to adjust and move in a specific direction. Now that really becomes difficult in a sense. So again, as a leader, you have a ceiling. You have probably blind spots, and people will see your blind spot and they'll tell you have a blind spot here. You have a choice. Do you listen and adjust and probably change in a sense? Or do you probably compensate with someone else to help in that direction? So, for example, there are different ways to handle this. You have a ceiling, but you probably choose to hire the right people in specific positions. And because they're very good at this one thing, they elevate you. So your weaknesses are sort of shadowed by their ability to execute in certain, contexts, right? However, if you are also in a position where you're probably lacking knowledge in a sense, then it would also be good to also build onto that knowledge, learn about what's really going on. For a long time at Zaantu, I never really learned about accounting. I thought that one day would probably get money, then go ahead and hire an accountant. But I'm saying that not in the very beginning, you actually have to be your own accountant. You have to be literally everything. Learn as much as possible because at the end of the day, you have a ceiling cap. You either grow by incorporating more knowledge into it. Now, a point which is when you become too busy, now you begin hiring the right people in specific locations or positions within the organization to help you move much higher in a sense. And that's how this is one of the strategies that you use to build an organization. Another thing could also be so character flaws within your blind spots. Probably you get angry too quickly. All this affect the environment that you're working in, right? Probably you don't say thank you to people that you're working with in a sense. Probably you're rude. There are all these things people notice. So all these things make you a great person to work with or a really difficult person to work with. And I've seen a lot of businesses here in Uganda that do not consider the people that they work with very well. People might come on and say, "Hey, let's do this," and they're like, "No, you're not the boss of this place," right? I've heard of stories like that. I've heard of so many incidences where, as a leader of the organization, you're very rigid and you don't want to build a system around things. You want to be in the business from morning till evening and handling the cash all the time. How are you supposed to expand and probably grow a franchise or build another branch in different places? How do you grow? How do you scale if you can't build systems around you? Again, blind spots, okay? So at the end of the day, if you really want to create a great company, you need first do a 360-degree inspection of you first. Look at yourself, be real honest about your weaknesses and everything in between. And secondly, talk to your friends. Tell them or ask them, hey, what do you think about my character? Am I the sort of person that you can easily work with? And take in their honest opinion. Don't be offended. Learn from them. If they're saying I can't trust you because number one, you lie, you always late, take that in. It will hurt. Take it in and go and learn to adjust. Change yourself. So at the end of the day, it's the leader, number one, who affects the ability for a company to become really great. Okay, that's like number one. Yeah, so that's just one example. But there's so many examples that also help companies go from good to great. For example, employing the right people in specific strategic locations as well, right? Then also being flexible. You need to also learn to also be flexible as well. Probably there's this happening within the market. How do you change and then move in a specific direction? And also positioning and timing. These are very important components because you begin to ask yourself, why now? Because at Zanto, we are trying to focus on CTO as a service, right? Being our main service offering. Then we also have recruiting services where we help people who are running businesses be able to get in touch with the right sort of software engineers and graphics designers. We plan to also expand that service to other areas to maybe create like a platform so can sort of like get like remote work, but from different fields in a sense, not limited only to ICT, positions. So we had to learn and say we need to adjust and change how things are running. Yes, then also the ability to also say, you know what, because of City as a service, we've met a number of organizations that are looking for funding. How about we also add on that other bit to get investment, right? And so we're like, okay, so why not add something else called Zanto Capital and be able to build a network of investors and also a network of businesses that are also looking for funding and connect them, see how we can help them get the funding that they need, and just take off like a small percentage of like a commission off of every successful investment. So those are some of the strategies that we've had to go. We've had to change our thinking and change our ability to move in specific directions. So I would say that just some few examples that help build companies from good to great. I wouldn't say that we are great yet. I don't think we are great yet in my mindset, because I think we can be better in a sense. But those are some of the things that have helped us to move and actually begin generating like revenue than when we were in a certain mindset before, or in a certain frame of mind before. Yeah.
Now, such important points. And if you're out there and you're looking for a community where you can interact with other CEOs and other investors, then we're going to put the link in the description, and just follow that onto our humble community, and we'll be happy to share more insights. But if you need to know how to get customers, just go back and watch this video. If you need to know how to start a company, just watch this video. It's loaded, and you who's starting your company, you'll get lots of value from it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Louise. Thank you, Joseph. We lost Valentino because of the network. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Thank you, everybody.